Intimacy in its purest form is transformational. That's true of both the marriage bed and the altar. Today I'll use one to delicately illustrate the other and the impact that intimacy is intended to have on a relationship. But first, welcome to Mornings with Bishop Robert. Thanks for joining me. My goal is to introduce people to the Jesus they never knew and to help them get to know Him and His Word personally and better. So if our time together speaks to your heart, then let me invite you to like, subscribe, and share it with a friend. Today's verse calls us to be transformed by the renewing of our mind. Now, you may not think a renewed mind has much to do with intimate relationships, but I'd submit that the mind and the heart are closely intertwined and both impact our choices. Winning the heart of another begins by attracting their attention, usually with acts of kindness. As relationships begin to be built and a foundation is established, people reveal more of themselves. The winning of the heart has begun. Information begins to cause transformation. It actually transforms first minds, and then hearts, and then choices. Shared experiences add to the impact and lead us either closer together or farther apart. The one who is set on winning the heart of the other continues to share, continues to give of themselves, building levels of trust on the foundation. The winning continues, and the relationship grows deeper. Desire draws the two together, and the foundation of trust allows and encourages even the sharing of more vulnerable thoughts and feelings, hopes and fears. Love begins to grow, and that leads to a relationship that calls for a new level of commitment if it's to continue its development. As love matures, it begins to consume everything else. Everything in the life of the person being won begins to be focused on the one who is loved. And when the winning is done, two desires have been developed. The first is a trust-based desire of a committed life together, sharing everything the future holds. And the second is a love-based desire for intimacy, sharing everything one can possibly share. And each of these desires can only be safely met within the bounds of a covenant, a sacred pact of self-sacrifice and total dedication to the other. In the natural realm, this decision of absolute dedication is called marriage, the biblical union of a man and a woman bound together in a covenantal commitment that lasts for a lifetime. The nature of the covenant joins two into one. They share a unity born of love and built on trust, and it's a unity that takes precedence over any and every other relationship. It impacts every other element of their lives. The ultimate expression of this unity is the marriage bed, where absolute vulnerability opens the path of intimacy. And from this intimacy flows life, always into the lives of the partners, and potentially even creating new life from the union. In the spiritual realm, this decision of absolute dedication is called salvation. The biblical union of a sinner and a Savior bound together in a covenantal commitment that lasts for eternity. The nature of the covenant joins two into one. They share a unity born of love and built on trust. And it's a unity that takes precedence over any and every other relationship. In fact, it also impacts every other element of their lives. The ultimate expression of this unity is the altar, where absolute vulnerability opens the path of intimacy. And from this intimacy flows life that gives grace and strength to the recipient of the sacrament. Those gifts enable them to be His witnesses, sharing new life. The full verse from this morning says, "Do not be conformed to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And then you'll be able to test and approve what God's will is, His good, pleasing, perfect will." Intimacy is transformational. It reveals the heart and desire of your partner in ways nothing else can. Nothing rivals its closeness. The church, being called the bride of Christ, is an image of shared intimacy. And it changes us, as all real intimacy must. It allows us to test and approve those things which please God, because we know Him so well. As we wrap up, can I ask you to help me introduce people to the Jesus they never knew, and help them get to know Him and His Word personally, intimately? Please like this video. Help more people see it. Follow or subscribe so you and I can get together every day. And share your comments with me, your questions, in the chat below. And let me know how intimacy has touched your heart. And then, of course, share this with a friend. Because as you do, you're part of a team touching the hearts of people all over the world with the love of Jesus. Thanks for helping. And God bless you today.